want to talk about is Shelby Oaks. So, I'm sure there's probably a lot of you that don't know a whole lot about this movie, or like the story behind it. But basically, Chris Stuckman's been, movie reviewer on YouTube for many years, since before it was cool to do it, since before like it was basically like an industry at this point. But it was something he started out doing. It was something he liked. He liked talking about movies, just kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm not making any money off of this, yet, but like I like talking about movies. So he started out with that, and then a few years ago, he got one of his scripts greenlit, and got a studio behind him. He ran a really successful Kickstarter campaign, raised a bunch of money to fund this movie and really like try to get it to look the best that it could, and then the studio threw some more money, and a little bit later in the production really kind of like polished it up. And so it was really cool to get to see it, because there was like, I don't know, like a year and a half now that I've been hearing about it's going to come out, it's going to come out, it's going to come out. And then, it finally did come out. So, and it's executive produced by Mike Flanagan. And, he's done Haunting of Hill House and Doctor Sleep and a lot of other really great horror stuff. So there's a lot of good stuff behind this movie. And me and my brother went and saw it, me and my brother and his girlfriend, and I think we all enjoyed it. It wasn't like a fun horror movie. I know there's a lot of like horror movies these days that are like have like elements, like more elements to them that make them like engaging to an audience. Like I felt like Weapons was a good example. Like there was a lot of like really bizarre stuff in Weapons. There was a lot of like really kind of creepy scenes, and then the ending of the movie had like a lot of. It was almost like a funny kind of shocking ending to the movie. But the thing about Weapons, because I did just watch that recently, is I feel like it didn't give me enough. Like the movie was fun and entertaining, but like there was a lot of elements of the story that weren't really like explained. Like why? Like at least as far as I could tell, I feel like there are a lot of things that I can infer. Like I can probably assume that the lady wanted all the kids to make her younger or something, but none of that stuff's really like dived into, like what her powers are, why she can do it, this and that. Like you just kind of like it's kind of like it's a story from the perspective of the characters, so you really only ever know what they know. So, and there's no real like scene where they break everything down. And that's one of the things about Shelby Oaks that I thought was done really well, is they, without like the character really like having all these moments where she really understands what's happening, you as an audience member get to see things that kind of say like, this is what's going on, and visually, like there's a lot of like freaky shots and stuff that kind of do a better job of explaining like what's kind of happening than a lot of things that happen in Weapons that are just kind of like like how the witch powers work, or why people are like so under the control of that a bit power or whatever. It felt like Shelby Oaks was pretty straightforward in like explaining a lot of those things. So what I'm basically saying is like I felt like the overall story of Shelby Oaks was better than Weapons. So just in that regard, I would say that I was more entertained by Weapons. There's a lot of like stuff that's happening in that movie that's keeps you engaged. Shelby Oaks had a little bit more of like had a few more of those like why is this character doing this? Like the horror movie moments where you're like, oh my goodness, why are you doing that right now? This is so dumb. Like you're really just putting yourself in danger. But you also understand the reason why the character's doing it, but yeah, Shelby Oaks, I think, was a good time, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I don't know where it's going to end up on streaming, but I think it's a good piece of work for someone who's first time directing, and I really hope the Chris Stuckman gets a chance to do some more work in the directing realm. So good for him.